transitioning from one thing in life to another, from one situation in life to another. Are you the kind of person that gets stuck and just can't move forward? Or are you energized by transitions and can't wait to jump into something new? Listen, there are two key things that we're going to dive into today that separate the people that are successful and energized with transitions from those that get stuck and can't seem to move forward. We're going to be talking about believing in yourself, believing it's possible, and how that is the catalyst to success. Hey everybody, it's Kristin and Charlie here with another Kristin and Charlie chat, and we are diving into our, well, I don't know if it's our most favorite, top three, because I feel like I always say this is our favorite thing to talk about. But this, oh my gosh, believing in yourself and believing it's possible were the complete and total game changers for me in raising two boys that I did not plan on blindness. It came and found us, but they were the game changers. And honestly, Charlie, these two things are the game changers for my life over the past 5 years. When I look back and see when I was stuck, I realized that I had to go find people that would help me understand that my dream or my successful transition was possible. And I had to avoid the folks that didn't believe it's possible. I'm going to dive into that a little more later because I just realized an element of that this morning. But believe in yourself and believe it's possible.
I was thinking a lot too from transitioning. We did a 2-part webinar on transition to college, and you know, a lot of that is belief that it, as in the transition, my journey through the 4 years of college, will be and is going to be successful, and that I'm built for it. I can pay the price and do the work and come out that, you know, walk up on that stage and get that diploma. But I was thinking, what are the 3 critical areas that you really need this in? And in a social environment, okay, you need to believe that that is possible. And that you can, and we talk about this, putting together those texting groups and different things you need to build for your social environment success. Then you need your mind environment, right? Mm-hmm. So we need to keep working on the belief and taking the actions and asking for the help and doing the necessary things. So the mind stays, so when you hit those walls, you don't crumble. And then the physical environment. We need to make sure that we walk the campus and do all the things. Now, these principles we define, we go through in detail in this 2-part webinar. But just imagine that you're transitioning into a new relationship, out of a relationship. You're transitioning into a job, out of a job. You're starting a company. All things in life, to get from where you are to where you want to be, are going to take a belief that it is possible and a belief that you are the one who is going to make that possible. You have what it takes. And how does that happen? Well, I think inner promptings, like I have no desire to learn how to crochet. I can't think of something, but like I won't pay the price. I won't discipline myself to learn. But I did on the guitar. I did on cameras. And back when I went to college, I went because I was the 5th of 6 kids, and the 4 before me went, and 2 of them were legally blind, like me. And they went and they were succeeding in college. They were working hard and they were making it. My parents wanted me to go. The high school I came out of thought I should go. So all these pressures around me, but inside, I didn't think I didn't want to go. Now, I was afraid of failure and things, but we talk about believe it is possible. What that it is I am going to be successful at college. My social environments, my mind environment, my physical environment, I could not see that. I don't believe for me, and I believe for all the people I've been working with, they can't see it. If you can't see that I will be successful if I do the work and focus on the prize and the vision of success, if I can't see it, then I'm not going to believe it's possible. I'm not going to believe I'm going to be able to succeed. And guess what happens? I fail. And that's what happens a lot.
Well, Charlie, that's the exact reason that I wrote the book. I say I wrote the book. I kind of cheated a little bit with Thriving Blind, because I wrote like my story a little bit in the intro, and then I just interviewed people that were succeeding without sight, and I kind of transcribed those interviews. However, so I put that book together because that is what gave me what is the author of The Talent Code, Daniel Coyle. There's actually science to this, with this believing it's possible. He calls it ignition. That when you see something is possible, when you see succeeding without sight is possible because somebody else did it, he says it ignites that part of your brain that says, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's all you need. It's interesting, that book, Thriving Blind is interesting. So is the author. No. But the book, The Talent Code, talks about why, like, he looked at, in one facet of the book, he looked at why are there certain countries that just produce these incredible soccer players all the time by the boatload. And it's that ignition. It's that believing it's possible. It's that being surrounded by very successful soccer players. So these kids grow up believing it's possible, believing in themselves that they can do the exact same thing. And they do it, So then when I went out, I had to go meet people that were succeeding without sight, ask them questions about how they were doing certain things. I didn't really get technical with them. I just needed to know that it was possible. And then I was able to communicate that to my kids, communicate it to the schools. And we have done what my boys will say other people will say they've done the impossible. It's not the impossible. It's normal stuff that people just didn't think was possible, but me and my boys did. And the achievement and the success just, it created a momentum that is nearly unstoppable now. But I will say, I think that, and we could probably do a whole nother episode on this. I won't dive into it right now, but I just want to mention that I think for those that are watching and listening, if you can't get out of that mode that you believe that something is actually possible. First of all, our Succeed Without Sight Summit just gives you hours and hours of all kinds of possibility. But one thing I want us to dive into at another time is the concept of being so attached to the loss of how you think things should have gone, like people that are losing their vision, or kids that are without sight and they think that they should have sight to be able to go to college. They get so attached to what they think they're missing and not looking forward and looking at all the opportunity that is actually still there and some unique opportunities that are there. So, and that's where then believing in yourself that you can achieve the things you want once you move forward out of the concept of loss and being stuck, knowing that it's possible, believing fully in that, then that's when that first step towards success happens.
I like that ignition. I also refer to it as the sunlight of the spirit. When I am seeing the success of learning the camera system, hitting walls, getting frustrated. What am I, stupid? I'm visually impaired. I'm legally blind. Why am I doing this to myself? Because sunlight of the spirit, ignition something has triggered in me that I just kept believing it's going to be possible. I know over time I will figure this system out. And I have, for the most part. And that's a never-ending, ongoing pit of learning. But you also, you say we have a summit coming, well, our third one, but Succeed Without Sight. That means what succeed means to you. So what succeed means to me as a legally blind man, 55 years old, might mean something very different to a 24-year-old legally blind or blind individual. It could mean, like, for me, success is peace of mind. contentment, happy, like a worthy ideal, making an impact, having, of course, a comfortable home and heat. Well, right now, air conditioning. But those things. But it isn't being the best or being on top of the mountain or being the best boxer or skier or skater. Those are all wonderful. And those are all worthy ideals and goals that people could go for. But I just want to step it down and say some of us might not want that. We just want to get a decent job that pays well. I love going there. The transportation is easy to get there. The people I work with are kind. They help me succeed at work. That's succeeding without sight. And that's the beauty of this summit. We bring a whole mix in. Some are high-end thrivers, and some are thriving at the vibration that works for them and their families.
Yeah, that's why I love that day so much, because it really is. I mean, what's interesting? And this was built on the concept of the Thriving Blind book, has the exact same thing you're talking about, Charlie, with everybody from, stay-at-home parent to climbing all 7 summits around the world. And I remember when I was interviewing the stay-at-home dad, who's a phenomenal attorney, and then wanted to stay at home with his kids. And someone that in my very close circle of friends was like, a stay-at-home parent, like, is that what this book is going to ignite people to want to do? I said, excuse me, I was a stay-at-home parent for many, many years. It's just mimicking the sighted community. It's the same, we have the same opportunity and the same level of diverse interest, succeeding without sight is, as you always say, Charlie, living life by design. And however that design and vision look for you. And I'm going to say, as we wrap up here, to parents of blind and visually impaired kids, or of blind and visually impaired adults, because my mother still thinks that she has to weigh in on my life at turning 51. Be very, very careful of what you believe is possible for your child, because if you're not there yet, be very, very careful about your words to your child about what is possible, because I have a feeling that your kiddos are going to come to you and say, I am going to go out and do this. Encourage them. Tell them to go get information about it. Don't be crushing their dreams. I love my mom to death. I'm turning 51, and she says to me the other day, for the 9 gajillionth time, if you could just get a job that has, benefits and 9 to 5. And I'm like, have you ever known me to be a 9 to 5 kind of girl? Can we stop with your suggestion box, please?
Well, that's funny. Well, Kristin, I believe it is possible. Remember that you are in charge of the it. Your it is yours, not your parents, not your schools, not your social pressure. Remember that you will. If you sit in a place and you'll be guided, you'll have an inner GPS system. I had no idea, but I allowed that to happen in my life. And then I was able to believe in myself. And then I was able to form a vision of success. And day by day, step by step, month by month, whatever it took, but slowly work towards that worthy ideal, that goal. And that's why we keep doing this stuff, because I need the constant reminder. I need to stay on top of this succeeding without sight, this success mindset, this thriving mindset, this, hey, we're all in this together mind.
Agreed. That's why I love these chats, and I, when I'm going and uploading them to site and stuff, I sit and listen again. And when I'm sharing them in our weekly success tip, I listen to them again, because it is constant. Oh God, constant, never-ending improvement. I feel like we're like walking quotes of success principles, but it's so true. It is so. It
Yes.
all has such not only merit. It really is the formula for living life by design on your terms. This has been another fun chat with you, Charlie.
Thank you. Well, take us out, Kristin.
Well, listen, if this has been helpful to you, hit the subscribe here on the YouTube channel so that you get our new videos every time they're uploaded here, and the notification bell. Wait, notification bell is how you get the notification. Look at that. Isn't that a brilliant thing that somebody called it that? But really, the biggest thing that you can do to be of service to your friends and colleagues is to share this video with someone that needs this message. And that is how the success mindset keeps getting out there and growing, and successability keeps growing. We appreciate you for listening. We'll see you next time.